SBF's jail. Is it as bad as people say? Is it worse than people say? We have some details, including an exclusive picture of the yard. Also, how much crypto does Donald Trump actually own? What about Melania, who's around the blockchain? Go ahead and hit that like button, guys, because we have a new guest who's never been on the show before. So make sure we show him that ATB love and make sure you follow him at the end of the show. But first off, we have Crypto Lifer holding it down in that green square. Now, Crypto Lifer, are you in any juicy trades lately?
I'm looking. Ooh, hold on. Can you hear me? Hold on.
Yeah. I thought you were looking at a trade right then. I started looking.
I like Nakamoto Games right now. It's getting tight. 4 hour. Looks like it's going to do something. So, yeah.
Okay. I will say this. The next Axie won't be Axie, folks. All right. Also on today, we have Corey with his patented color on his T-shirt as well. Corey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on again. I really appreciate your time, and I'm glad to be back.
Hey, man, we appreciate your time. Also on, we have Dylan Rose, first time ever on the show. Dylan, feel free, just, a little brief background. Do you got a YouTube channel? Are you the inventor of Bitcoin? How might they know you?
Yeah, not the inventor of Bitcoin. I am working on a crypto mining startup. I'm actually in my facility. I've got a shelf building miners out of the garage on a low power blockchain. So that's how I ended up here, but happy to be a talking head for today.
Hey, man, talking blockchain operator. That's all good here is all love. But first, let's talk about Coca-Cola NFTs, everybody. We're just going to breeze through. We really got to talk about SBF and Trump. But the world top soft drink brand, they teamed up with another hot blockchain at the moment, and that is Base, Coinbase's layer 2 solution for Ethereum. So this is the first of, I don't want to say the first, but one of several big brand partnerships that Coinbase has been able to manage to lock down. They also got Zora, Pixelmon, Showtime, and Indelible. But this will be a part of their on-chain summer event. And the Coca-Cola, they're calling it the Masterpiece Series. It's going to have a bunch of famous paintings. I think they're leading with Zurich's, the Scream, is, that person on the bridge. So that's going to be one of the first ones. Sorry, Edvard Munch. I said the wrong name there. And also some emerging artists, all intertwined with the iconic Coca-Cola bottle. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, Crypto Lifer, I kind of want to ask you a serious question about Coca-Cola's foray into Web3 and what this might mean for Base, and is this bullish for Coinbase? I want to ask you a more fun question, though. Why the heck did they not choose polar bear NFTs, Crypto Lifer?
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the question. It's funny. I actually kind of have a personal answer to this question, which is weird.
You were mauled by a polar bear, were you, or your family member?
I once was... No.
Oh my God. It feels.
Well, I used to watch like American Pickers, right? That show. And, they go through, and Coca-Cola has always been iconic, right? I'm not a fan of any type of soda. I don't let my kids drink soda, like not even a sip. Like, it's not cool with me. No Coke in the house. Me and my wife don't drink soda.
So not to cut you off. So no OJ, purple stuff, grape soda.
They can drink orange juice. They can drink orange juice, but it has to be like, it's got to be cold pressed. You know what I mean? It's got to be done right. So, but recently I brought her to Newbury Comics, a place in Boston, which is like an iconic place. And I brought her and I said, you can buy whatever you want. And they have those little, I shouldn't know the name, but these little plastic Mobies or something everyone's buying. They're like these little plastic, I should know the name, but there's these little plastic collectibles. She picked, the polar bear, and she went back to a month later and she picked another polar bear. And I even thought, as like a business guy collectively, I was like, you know what? I kind of like, that she could probably resell that. So I think, it's a good idea that they're getting into NFTs. It's only a matter of time. Dealing with Base is pretty cool too. Pretty good, smart move with Coinbase because the iconic name, you know what I mean? Coinbase, Coca-Cola. And for me, again, I want to say this super conscious. I'm not about soda, and I really don't like the promotion of unhealthy foods. But I guess, it's iconic. Everyone knows about it. It can only help blockchain in the long term. So I say it with a disclaimer, but I do think it's good for crypto.
Okay. I actually just did the math in my head when you're saying the name Base over and again over again. Base also a nickname for crack, if I'm not mistaken, and Coca-Cola used to have cocaine. So it's awesome that it made a full circle right there. Shout out to all the housewives in the 1920s having the time of their life, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, Corey Casta, you know, kind of, I mean, we could kind of get more serious, but I mean, we're talking about Coca-Cola NFTs here. I have a feeling you know this history, is why I'm asking you this one. In fact, I'm sure we all know. We have some of the smartest audience in all of crypto and the best guests, so I'm sure they all know. But I'm willing to bet dollars to donuts you do. Coca-Cola basically invented Santa Claus as we know it. Or you're familiar with that story, right? The iconic red jacket with the white lining and everything. Yeah. Before that, I think it was like an evil German guy that like snatched kids' toenails or something. But is the IP of Santa Claus worth exploring? Do you think that we'll start to see some Santa NFTs instead if they don't want to do the polar bears?
Yes, I do think that's going to happen because I think it's a rich part of Coca-Cola history. When you try to take away part of a brand's history, it brings about questions surrounding the legitimacy or how far this company actually wants to go into the NFT space. So I believe right now, obviously, we're not seeing Santa NFTs because it's not winter. So we're in the middle of summer, and I don't foresee right now Santa NFTs with Coca-Cola occurring. But since basically the modern day Santa has been paid homage to both the Christian notion of St. Nicholas, but amalgamated with the idea of Coca-Cola, well, I don't foresee them not creating some type of NFT that also will entice older people to come into the NFT sphere. We tend to see the NFT sphere, usually millennials, usually Gen Z, usually Gen X, but the ones who will pay homage and enter the NFT space in that are older are only going to do it when they find something that's familiar to them. So I think that the people who come into NFTs through a legitimate company and a large company that everyone knows, like Coca-Cola, they're going to have to play on their idea of familiarity. So I think that they are going to do Santa NFTs, but I don't think they would do it right now. It doesn't make sense in the summer.
Yeah, they got to do, maybe wait till December. Oh, wait a minute. No, this is 2023. We started selling Christmas stuff in now, right? September, August. Looks like Just Jim, a big fan of Richard Pryor. What does that mean? We know what it means, everybody. Also, we got a couple people in there. People love Mexican Coke. A lot of people talking about Mexican Coke. Maybe that cane sugar, maybe. Now, Dylan, you know, we're kind of bringing up some of these old iconic Coca-Cola items. Well, one of our researchers, Johnny, he was looking into it. There's a 1890s paper sign for Coca-Cola. Looks like it sold for about $117,000, over $100K. Could you ever see a Coca-Cola NFT, maybe one of the rare ones, could they ever sell for $100K?
I totally think so. I mean, brand and memorabilia related to brands is, you know, always a very compelling sort of thing to have. So, you know, ultimately with Coke releasing this, I guarantee you there's going to be some people who are holders of this. Now, I think the longer question is, right, is Base going to stand the test of time? You know, in that kind of note, it's like, is Base going to be around in 100 years? I'm not 100% sure of that. However, if they do something where it's portable, maybe put it on Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin will be around. That I think would be very valuable. What I would like to see them doing too is kind of having receipts as well. So maybe mixing it with something physical where they release posters, but part of those posters are the NFT as well, because then there is kind of this limited aspect where if you held on to the poster that long, it adds value. That's really the discrepancy, is that, you know, the poster can deteriorate over time, but the NFTs can't. So that might have a downstream impact on the rarity of the NFT itself. But yes, short answer, I totally think that people are going to want this stuff down the road.
All right, for sure. Chat coming up. Looks like Coca-Cola did have VV NFTs last year. VV, kind of a closed ecosystem. It's not really fully adopted by the NFT community. A lot of people have opinions on South American Coke. You know, we have good Coke in Belize. Maybe even better than Mexico, but not as good as the Colombian stuff. I guess they have really good sugarcane out there. All right,
Our
let's.
Crack is better than your crack.
Speaking of crack, will SBF crack under pressure, folks? SBF looks like that jail he's going to is not going to be any walk in the picnic. Breaking news, actually, he just had to submit his medication, and it got publicly, released out there. It's in the court filings. So he's out there. He's asking for more amphetamine salts. Funnily enough, but it looks like he's heading to MDC Brooklyn, I believe is the jail here, and it is one of the worst jails in the country, according to a few reports here. He did seek to reverse that $250 million bail. Looks like they tossed it out. Sharing Caroline's diary didn't really help his case, nor did using a VPN to watch a soccer match. But following the Friday's hearing, he was moved to MDC Brooklyn. I looked into MDC Brooklyn. It's a federal detention center. There's also a famous MDC detention center in New York City. That was MDC Manhattan. A little Epstein action happened over there where Epstein got Epsteined. Funnily enough, looking at that one, that prison is now shut down. They no longer have MDC Manhattan. Everybody at MDC Manhattan got moved to MDC Brooklyn. So he's not at the jail Epstein is at, but Epstein's, all the occupants of that jail are now moved to SBF's jail. Lawyers have complained about this facility. It's only supposed to house 1,000. They have over 1,600, so 60% over capacity there. But it looks like they've complained about overflowing toilets, plastic in inmates' food, poor ventilation, contaminated water, and during the winter of 2019, they lost power for days, meaning no hot meals due to the power outage, no heat. A lot of people complain. I don't know if there's any deaths due to cold. I looked into it. It was just hard to find. They've held a few people. R. Kelly, it's been there. Fetty Wap, it's been there. And Epstein's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, is housed at this detention center as well. The lawyers are going to appeal. I think they're trying to appeal already. Now, Crypto Lifer, he went from the poolside of the California mansion of his parents' house. Now he's all the way down to one of the worst jails in the country. What are your thoughts about the lifestyle change he's about to experience? Is he going to get a severe culture shock? And, how do you predict he's going to handle that?
Yeah, don't be fooled by the suit, man. I've spent some time in jail, not long periods of time, but enough to know that you don't want to be there. And a couple since central bookings. You go to central bookings in Manhattan, and they keep shifting you from cell to cell. You don't even know if you know you're getting out. You don't get a call. Like, you don't actually get a call unless you have change for $1 or you have any money on you. I remember just sitting there in a wife beater for literally like 30 hours, wondering if they lost my file. I feel bad, but at the same time, when you steal millions of dollars from people. How many people right now had their entire life savings depleted? Little Johnny's dad right now is working a double shift, and he can't even go to that hockey camp this summer because that family's got no money because it was all on FTX. So a lot of people were really, really hurt. He's going to feel the pain of that. You know what I mean? That's karma. That's what happens. You don't want to be in those tough situations, but that's where he's at. This is the hard reality of life. Also, it seems like he has no remorse. Like, a judge can look at him. They watched him. He was going to weasel he was trying to weasel his way out of anything he could. Like, I'd still watch this guy. Like, he's going to try to dig his way out with a spoon or something. Like, he doesn't have any remorse. He was going to throw his girlfriend under the bus. That's what he did. That's another reason why he's fully in there. If you look at the story, he was going to he leaked her story to the press so he could put her in a bad light to try to make it look like she was trying to do things against him because she was the one. He tried to offset all the blame away from himself. Obvious, he's a narcissist. He could not take any of the blame. His parents tried to actually protect him from this, it seems. I don't know from the back end, but so, it's going to come, man. This is what happens to people that do crime. I'm so happy, and that goes to everyone out there listening and everyone out there watching us and all you grimy politicians and all you grimy people out there. You're going to get yours. It's coming for you, baby. I'm just telling you right now. I live with God. Right. I stay in good karma, and he's getting what he deserves. So,
Chat, you guys are having a field day. Once again, I should have known it was going to happen this way. Thumbnail investor, SBF is joining a new polycule. I don't know if he wants to join that one. Corey, karma's a what, and what goes around comes around. But is there a level that is too much for SBF? I mean, is there any point where you would draw the line? I mean, do we take it all the way to the electric chair, waterboard it on the whole time he's waiting? Where do we draw the line at?
Well, you're going to find out a little bit of my political beliefs here. But before I say that, you said R. Kelly was in the jail. Did he end up peeing on the walls? And is Hilario Clinton going to be the CEO? No, I'm kidding. But I don't.
Little pee.
I'll be honest with you. When you destroy so many people's lives when you destroy so many people's life savings, I don't think there is anything that is too far. I think that the problem with today's society, there's this balance of equilibrium between barbarism in the justice system and excessive rehabilitation in the justice system. And I think right now we are starting to, especially amongst people who have powerful connections, they're getting away with legitimately destroying people's lives. And I find that to be a massive problem. And we see this a lot in blockchain specifically because it's a rather unregulated space. So we have so many people getting away with financial sabotage, financial ruin. And as a result of that, that sets a precedent for other scammers to come in and say, wow, okay, basically I can do what I want. It's basically like bail reform in New York, where basically you could basically do so much and then just get out scot-free. I think the major issue here is that nobody has been able to take accountability because karma is not existent right now for these thieves and for these individuals that have not been able to receive a sense of judgment. So I think that we need to be more cruel. I think we need to have less rehabilitation for these thieves. And I think that sadly, fear is the most innate emotion to the human animal. If you make thieves and scammers afraid that they're going to have massive repercussions as a result of their actions, if you're going to either rug a project, you're going to destroy people's life savings, well, I think they would think twice. I think people find value in the idea that they're not going to be punished. So we need to take that value away and say, we will punish you. We will put you in the most disgusting of, in the most disgusting and abhorrent of conditions if you do this. The language of force and the language of fear is a very, 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 very valuable asset when dealing with thieves and dealing with those who do heinous crimes. And not to mention the fact that SBF also literally donated $100 million to stolen customer funds to U.S. politicians. If that's not corruption at the federal level, I don't know what is. And where is the retribution going to come? When are politicians and when are thieves like SBF going to actually be afraid of populism? Again, I don't know. And I think that fear is necessary.
Yeah, let's bring back a celebrity deathmatch. Ultimate Maya, throw him in with Jen Pop with the $1.99 super chat, and also M Ninja with the black cat emoji there. So appreciate it. Any super subs, your name pops out. It's a little bit easier to see in the mods, of course. You're popping out blue. All right, last question on this topic. Dylan, he's going to be needing roses by the time this is all said and done, but we had the MDC Manhattan building. It got shut down for repairs. We don't know if it'll ever be open again. Those cameras, they just keep malfunctioning, Well, all those inmates were removed and then put in the MDC Brooklyn facility where he's at with Ghislaine Maxwell. Will there be any shenanigans if you had to predict?
So I've been mulling over this, and I think I have a pretty good solution, which if you guys have ever watched A&E, they have a program called Beyond Scared Straight. That is my vote, right? I think we gotta do this Beyond Scared Straight style. All the proceeds, all the ad revenue should go back to helping the victims. And honestly, while we're at it, let's just go back to the Bahamas prison, right? Like, why even mess with the New York prison? Let's do this for real. So, will there be shenanigans? I hope so. I hope they're on camera. I hope it brings in some ad revenue that ultimately goes back to the victims. But, on a serious note, I just got to agree with Corey, right? Without fear, and that's why I said Beyond Scared Straight, I don't know how this gets any better. And I think, when we see SBF going back to jail, especially just due to his own stupidity, to, trying to get out of this, to intimidate people. I mean, come on, if we're not going to punish these people, what are we doing? And it really sucks that the conditions in this prison are not great, but I mean, this is what it's made for. This is something that I hope people don't stop talking about. I hope it gets aired. I hope people really consider what they're doing as crimes and not just say, yeah, whatever, it's a failed experiment. We'll fund him right after he gets out of prison. That would just be ridiculous to me. And I really hope that this whole event stays with the industry.
I wasn't going to show this, but, here, let's just share the screen here. I don't even know where this is going to go. I'm just imagining Vitalik and some sort of Scared Straight show, a Vitalik, a CZ. Let's see. We have this ad in 5, 4, 3, because we're not signed into our account. I guess we have so many channels. We need to get YouTube Premium on all the things here. But here we go. I think we're spiking here. Yeah, I can't imagine Vitalik on something like this. I don't think it'd end well for him.
He would look good in orange. I'll say that much. I mean, he could rock Bitcoin orange all day, and I'd be okay with that.
All right. Well, speaking of orange, let's go to Trump. I had to do it, folks. I had to do it. That's the segue of the day right there. Yeah. All right. Well, Donald Trump, his crypto holdings were exposed by him voluntarily. Part of what they have to do, you have to list your assets and liabilities in a disclosure form. Well, he just did that and filled out his form and revealed how much crypto he holds and on what chain. But we don't know which crypto exactly. It appears he has between $250,000 and $500,000 in an Ethereum wallet. Has been confirmed that it is Ethereum. He did do a Polygon mint, but it was on Polygon chain with Ethereum. We don't know if he switched to fiat immediately. It could be wrapped Bitcoin, folks. We really don't know. But it likely came from his NFT launch on Polygon. Looks like he made, because he had a file for that, he made between $500,000 and $1 million on that NFT deal. But he has mixed feelings on crypto. Actually, I pulled up some of his old clips. Let's see if we could share this. This is him on Fox Business News talking about Bitcoin. I think we have sound. No sound.
Dang.
Okay.
It was wonderful.
Okay.
It was wonderful.
It was great.
I'm not going to do the impression. I do have his quote. I don't know about it. Just seems like a scam. He also said he prefers the fiat. He prefers the U.S. dollar. He likes that to have all the power there. But it is not looking like we know exactly what token crypto lifer. Now, you ran businesses. You're kind of familiar with this. It was a taxable event when he did his NFT launch. Some are saying he probably switched to fiat. Some are saying there's no way. Melania knows about crypto. He has smart people around him. He definitely just is holding Ethereum. What are your thoughts? If you had a guess, what is in that Ethereum wallet? Is it FTT token?
No, I mean, it's just, to me, it's pretty simple. I mean, I was trying to make, he did the NFT sell. I don't think he personally went and grabbed, someone like him is a businessman. He's never going to pay for something. He wants his businesses to make, you get addicted to your businesses paying for things. That's how a businessman works. Like, oh, I want to buy this. Like, you want a pair of Jordans. You don't buy the Jordans. You buy 3 pairs of Jordans. You hold 2 of them, sell them on eBay, right? And then they pay for the one that you want. So he just sold those NFTs. I think the Matic, Ethereum, a bunch of different, I think it's mostly Ethereum, ended up in the wallet, and it's just sitting there at this point. I don't think he really went out of his way. At least he sold the NFTs. He used that to make extra income, and it's just sitting in the wallet. So I think it's just Ethereum sitting in the wallet until they decide to do something bigger, or, he should have way more cryptocurrency as far as I'm concerned. With the amount of money that he has, he should have way more exposure. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. So,
yeah. I think Michael Saylor said Bitcoin is like Manhattan granite. And he has some Manhattan real estate. So, maybe he has that real life Bitcoin. He maybe thinks
he already owns Bitcoin in real life.
Yeah. According to Michael Saylor's analogy there. All right. Well, I pulled up Trump digital trading cards. They launched late last year. These shot up. They minted at $100. They shot up to, I want to say they did about an 8x, folks, or maybe even close to 10x. Yeah. They were way up there. Now they have cooled off, but they're still double in fiat value. At least they're still double from the mint there. Here you can see the floor coming in at 0.11 ETH. Then after that, it's price-o-matic. But looking at the wallet, 14,000 holders, meaning 14,000 unique wallets for these 45,000 Trump digital trading cards. In fact, I would be willing to bet there's some Bit Squad members watching right now that actually hold a Trump NFT here, and they're wondering something, Corey. They're wondering, where's it going to go? Let's say, this is, a lot of assumptions here. Let's say he does get the Republican nominee. And really, you could do it for both. One for the nominee, one for actually winning. Then say he runs, and let's say he wins. Let's say he loses. Will him winning or losing affect the price of his NFT? How much would it move, given either outcome there?
First, I'm going to say I'm either going to piss off, or actually, how people are going to love me for saying this, but Trump 2024, that's the first thing. The second thing I want to say is that I think it really depends on market conditions, and I also think it depends on the determination of whether he wins or loses. If he is the nominee, then I think the prices will increase. I don't know how much they will increase, but I do think they will increase, but it also is reflective on market conditions. And I'll make a comparison here. Like, look what happened to Ripple. Like, Ripple skyrocketed for a couple of days because of the news that came out that it wasn't a security, but now it's retracing. So a lot of gains made in a bear market, they're not sustainable. They're not sustainable during a bear market, in my opinion. So if he is the nominee, I do believe the price will increase. And by that time, I'm going to assume that we are in somewhat of a bull market. Of course, the United States government is going to try to prop up the economy before the election, try to show people that everything is all hunky-dory. And plus, the Bitcoin halving is next year. I think it's in April 26th, something like that. So I think that there's going to be a net benefit surrounding that as well. So if he becomes the nominee, yes, I do believe the prices will increase. If he wins the election, I believe that these Trump NFTs will, again, I'm not a financial advisor by any means, but I do believe they will skyrocket in value because it'll, one, legitimize Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States and the 45th president of the United States, but it also will set a precedent that these Trump NFTs that were sold prior to him becoming a president for a second term, they have legitimate value prospect in the long term, because now he is seen as an individual that can be elected a second time, even in the midst of all of this controversy surrounding him and all of the attacks around him. However, if he loses and is not elected, I do believe short term the prices will go down. I do believe there will be some negative attributes towards these NFTs because I would say the Trumpers will be very they'll look at it with negative sentiment. However, I do believe as time goes on, there will be some sense of nostalgia surrounding these NFTs moving into the future, because the fact that he was a president of the United States, and the NFT market, I think, is going to come back. So I do foresee, even if he loses, Trump NFTs having value moving forward.
All right, we got Quarter Crawler. He actually has a Melania Solana NFT. Trump will win from prison. Will he pardon himself through the bars? That's quite the visual right there. I'm surprised Corey is not a Vivek man. I will say that. Here I rated from high to low. This is the more rare ones. We just looked at the common ones, the ones you don't want. Now let's actually look at some of the more rare ones. Some of these are actually kind of funny. He's got the laser eye ones. My question for chat: can Trump actually palm a basketball? That's the real question. All right, last question here, and we'll wrap it up. Dylan, he came out against Bitcoin. He says it's a scam. He says he prefers the dollar. He doesn't prefer Bitcoin, even though he's orange. I don't get it at all. I'll be honest here. But Republicans are now coming a little bit around here. Now we have a lot of leading Republican candidates. They are pro-crypto. Many of them are very vocally anti-CBDC. We haven't seen Trump adopt those opinions quite yet. Do you think he'll flip a 180 and come out as positive towards crypto over the next 6 months?
So honestly, yes. And I know it sounds funny, but I think just because it's been such a talking point for Democrats, namely Elizabeth Warren, right? Someone who he has, used as kind of an attack piece. I also think it really does appeal to his base. I think there's certainly a crossover between, kind of Bitcoin maxi community, libertarianism, and what Trump stands for as a business person. So I do think that he will come out and kind of take a similar stance on supporting Bitcoin, supporting Ethereum. That being said, does he keep minting NFTs? Well, we'll see. Does he do it on Base? We'll see. But I really hope that that's the case. I would even hope maybe that, he flips so far that the U.S. takes a position in Bitcoin and really solidifies it. Who knows, right? Maybe he figured out that he could buy a bunch of Bitcoin, change his position once he's president, and pump his own bags. And, I don't know what the legalities of that are. But look, he's a guy who likes to make money. He likes to use his influence to make money. He's done it before. He'll probably do it again. So I think if he sees an opportunity to do that, he will take it. And we can just ride the train and hope for the best.
Come on, we all know Jared Kushner has the secret Bitcoin wallet. Donald Trump has to publicly disclose. I don't think there's a secret Bitcoin wallet. D Bunny with the $5 super chat. Win orange. Orange. You glad you didn't post a banana, I guess. I think that's all we had time for. Guys, it's been a great show. I think you guys had a good time. We all had a good time. Haircut stream, not applicable for me, at least, as the person named Coca-Cola. DZ, you are not confused. You are not low IQ. Thank you, Sheldon. Well, I watch Big Bang Theory, then I watch Sheldon, and I do feel dumb. All right, I think that's all we got. One negative subtract a point for the status Corey. I wouldn't take it that far, but Corey, even if we did subtract, it'd be a tie at that point. But Corey, you do end up having it. We're going to go ahead and give it to you. You almost got snaked by Dylan Rose. Crypto lifer, he was multitasking, folks. I don't know if you saw the comment. He made a $10,000 trade while on the show. So some say that means he should win. But Corey, you got the most points. So technically, we'll leave you with the parting thoughts here.
I just want to say thank you so much for DZ for always, supporting us content creators throughout blockchain. I want to say thank you so much for the audience and the panel here with Dylan and Crypto Lifer, both great men. All I can say to everyone is please go in the description of this video and subscribe to everybody who's here. We try to make content daily. Please consider subscribing to my channel, my Twitter, Crypto Lifers, YouTube and Twitter, Dylan Rose's Twitter as well. They're all in the description. Make sure to subscribe to Around the Blockchain as well and follow DZ on Twitter. And I want to say thank you guys again for a great show and a great audience.
All right. DZ's been up since 2 a.m. Not quite, Nando. All right, Nando, the relentless. But guys, go to Dylan's channel. He hasn't been on yet, so let's give him that little ATB hug of death. We want him to wake up and fall out of his bed tomorrow, okay? All right, that's all we got. Until next time. Link high, you know it.